Alright, today's video is going to be all about that spec video you just watched. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I'm a videographer from Melbourne, Australia. I run my own video production company, but I also work on other people's jobs as a DP, assistant, and a gear hire. So I had a pretty quiet patch earlier this year, and I wanted to do a spec shoot just to kind of fill in the time. Something I personally feel like I really struggle with is filming running content. So I came up with a concept to shoot a hybrid athlete commercial so I could practice and get better at it. So I'm going to run you through how I pretty much brought this project to life, from finding a location, the logistics, and all of the gear that I used for the shoot. So I know I needed to find two locations for this shoot, one being a class-based gym and a relatively quiet outdoor area to capture the running content. So I knew that I wanted a pretty minimal looking gym. I didn't want any bright colors and I wanted just like a really clean aesthetic. I also knew that I didn't want any overhead skylights in the space because this makes it really hard to control all of the lighting. I did a bit of research online and I found 3 really nice gyms. The space we ended up using was The Bones, and I already had my foot in the door because my wife knows the owner of the business. So we were able to ask them if we could borrow the gym, and in return I'd do a 2-hour shoot to create some content for them. I wanted the running content to be a bit industrial and a bit grungy, so I had a look at the local train stations to the gym to see if any of them had the vibe that I was looking for. So the camera I used for this shoot was the Sony fx3 with the Cineback cage. I love this cage as it allows me to add attachments and power more accessories on my handheld rig without a lot of setup and rigging required on the day. The monitor I used is the Small HD Focus 7. They sent this monitor out to me in 2019 when it first launched, and it has been my all-time favorite monitor. I have a cage on it too, so I was able to use a sun hood, and without this I would have really struggled filming the running content because it was so sunny outside. Now lens-wise, in the gym I used the Sigma 24-70 and the Sony 10-18. For the running content I used the Sigma 24-70 and the Sony 70-200. I've been loving the look of camcorder footage blended with high quality footage lately, so I had my wife there using the Sony Handycam to capture that content for me. Now for lighting in the gym, this space had incredible track lights that just looked really nice, and they were dimmable, which really helped. I turned those as low as I could so that the overhead light wasn't really doing much, but they were just kind of visible in a lot of the shots. The lights that I set up is pretty much my go-to lighting setup, which is just a key light and a backlight. And I find this gives a really nice dramatic look. The key light was the Nanlite FS300C with a 105cm softbox, and the backlight was the Nanlite Forza 60C with a rectangular softbox. I always set my key light up on a 45-degree angle to the talent, and the backlight is placed 180 degrees from that. So we started off in the gym capturing all of the strength content, and I decided to film everything as far away from the window as possible as I wanted a really dramatic lighting look. I put together a brief shot list for me to reference on the day, but as this was a spec shoot, it was just a bit of fun and I wanted to be able to capture what I felt like on the day. Whenever I shoot running content, it just feels so repetitive because you're basically just stopping and starting and reframing and repositioning to get unique angles. At the end of the shoot, I didn't walk away feeling super confident with the amount of shots that I got. And I remember in the moment thinking that I was really struggling to get the footage to be as stable as I wanted it to be. And there were even times where I had to tell Toby to slow down a little bit just because I was really struggling to keep the camera super stable. But once I actually got home and looked at all the footage, I had a lot of great running shots, and I think I just got in my head a little bit. Normally when I work on spec projects, I only really just create one commercial from the project, but I really wanted this one to look like a paid client job. So I created a hero video, which is the one you saw at the start of this video, as well as 4 social cut downs. If you want to check out the full project, I've linked it in the description below for you. Thanks for watching.